Good morning, this is Talia MK at FUELD 2.0 Conference 2025 Dubai, and we have with us Mr. Shoumo Mitra. He is Director APAC Crop Health and R&D, and he has also been awarded as a trendsetter to watch out for. So your company is a Singaporean company?
No, I work for an American company.
Okay.
But I'm based in Singapore.
Amazing. First of all, before we start all the questions, how does it feel to receive an award of a CEO who is setting a trend in a hub of CEOs from all over the world?
It was great. It was wonderful to be here.
Yeah.
And recognition is always nice. And especially when you see people from different industries, different walks of life coming together, it's wonderful.
Amazing. So can you tell us a little bit about your company?
Yes. So I work for Corteva Agriscience, which is a US company which came out of the merger of Dow and DuPont. So we have 25,000 people across the globe, $18 billion company, headquartered in the US.
Wow.
And I lead the R&D for APAC, based in Singapore.
Amazing. So are you globally providing the healthcare for crops? How
Yes.
does it work? Like?
Yes, so it's health for crops means we produce chemicals for crop health.
Okay.
So we are very similar to pharmaceutical companies, where pharmaceuticals provide for medicines.
I think crops is like, no matter your country, religion, culture, it is like the bread and niche and roots for everybody.
Absolutely. You need food. Everyone needs food.
So how do you make sure that whatever material or medicine you're making will not harm the crop as much as possible, and it's as organic as possible?
Perfect.
And one more, everybody says there's an organic crop and the other one. What is the difference in that?
It's a really good question. So nowadays, especially for Corteva, because we are a very R&D centric company, we produce what are called reduced risk and green chemistries.
Okay.
So these products are not toxic to human beings or animals or off target. So these are meant to control either insects, weeds, or diseases on the crops.
Okay.
Because if you don't control it, then 40% of the crops will be damaged. So we try to be as close as we can be to nature. So we use something called nature inspired. So for example, we have an insecticide which is called Jambelva. It was discovered from a soil microorganism.
Soil?
Yeah.
Okay.
So this microorganism was found in a distillery
was it an accident?
It was an accident.
Awesome.
Most discoveries are accidents,
100%.
right? So this was extracted. One of our researchers was out in a rum distillery for his vacation.
Wow.
And he found something which looked very novel to him in the soil. So he asked and he isolated the soil and he found a microorganism, and he found that it produces some metabolites or fermentation products which can control diseases or insects or something like that. So then he synthesized it and it went on, and chemists synthesized it. Right, but it was a chance discovery.
So what is the difference between the organic crops?
So organic would generally be, there are certain certifications. So in the US, there's something called OMRI, or where you can only use these products to control pests or diseases, right? So generally, it can be like vinegar.
Okay.
Right? So this particular product I mentioned
why
here.
Why is it so costly? I'm so sorry. I'm so curious.
No,
Amazing work you do. So why is it that costly? Because both are doing the same job, but why is it so expensive?
So there are two things. When we don't control the insects and diseases in the crop, the yield of the crop goes down. So the quality goes down. So as a result, what happens that you're going to sell it for a premium. Of course, on top, marketing is there, right? Because anything with health
nowadays everybody wants to be healthy. Before there was a trend that everybody was like, no, be yourself, eat what you want, body positivity. And now
there's everything. Everything. Subway sandwiches are more expensive than what used to be, right? Just because it's healthy, right?
My God,
avocados are expensive because they're supposed to be, right?
100%.
So similarly, there's a marketing concept to it. But nowadays, when the chemistries which we discover are very sustainable and they're not toxic. So there's not much difference between being organic. So for example, the example I gave you, an organic farmer could use our insecticide and be called organic, which the grower doesn't know, which a lot of the consumers don't know.
Nobody knows.
Right? Yeah. So they think organic means you can't use anything, right? Yeah. It's as good as it can be, right?
But it is as like it just came up and they picked it up.
Absolutely. So that's not really the way, it's a lot of marketing going around it. But nowadays the chemistry, if farmers are using newer chemistries, they're very safe.
You know, people before, people were not vocal. Things were not, information was very much limited.
Right.
But before, now people even having the information and being vocal, still I feel crop, this industry never gets the advantage
You're
or the
absolutely,
information or the highlight it's supposed to get.
you're, you're absolutely
Why
right.
is that?
You're
Why do you
absolutely,
think that it
you're
is?
absolutely right. So generally, in in terms of human nature, whenever you talk about chemicals, people have a negative connotation,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
About anything, right?
Anything, yes,
Anything, right? So the
yes.
people say, oh, because people don't realize, and I'm really glad to hear that you said it's thing which feeds the world, right? If we don't have it,
You cannot
we
survive.
cannot
You
survive.
cannot have
Even
life.
today, the people who go to bed hungry, right, around the world, it's right.
100%.
So if we cannot have tools that can give us food security, what are we doing? And as you said, it was very obvious during the COVID days, right?
Yeah.
Everyone was home. Everyone could survive without everything else, but they needed food,
Food, yes.
right?
Exactly.
So the farmers were given an exemption to go grow crops. Otherwise, how would we feed,
Yes,
right?
yes.
And that makes you realize that how important it is, right?
Yeah.
So we work towards food security, giving
But why
the.
is it not still spoken about that much? And
I,
what can, as a community, we can do to make it better?
I think, as you said, a lot of times is ignorance and not having the knowledge that the newer chemistries, and I can give you an example. It costs us $300 million, 10 years to put one product in the market. Can you imagine how much
Wow.
work is going? It does like 10 years worth of
Money
work.
is the excluding, but the work.
But the amount of work we have to do. So when it's almost finding a needle in a haystack nowadays,
Yes.
because the list of things that you have to hit to be able to register is just huge, right? So that to get those, we have to do so many tests. Make sure everything cross every dot and tick everything that you can on the list, and it makes it more expensive. So when you get a product out in the market, it's only quite safe, but people don't know, right?
Yeah.
People are not aware
I
of
think
it.
awareness is still lacks
Yeah.
a lot, and education is there, and people as a whole, whatever industry you are, you need to talk about it because this is food we're talking about.
Absolutely.
This has nothing to do with any other thing. You're an influencer, you're having a makeup
Right.
product, it has nothing to do with it. If you have a voice, please use it, because I feel farmers
Right.
and the laborers are the one who always
Absolutely.
suffer to this day. Other laborers are still, I feel, getting a little bit better treatment because, well, we can see the building. Oh,
Exactly.
they're making this
Right.
building. But the farmers are all over the world. No matter
100%.
the borders, are never getting the credit.
You
And
made my day.
especially the scientists as well.
Absolutely.
If you guys are working to make the crop, even as you said, 300 million for one food product, which would be in my burger or sandwich that I would never
Yeah.
know about. So, what do you think? With the help of AI, do you think you can the process
Yes.
and the money wise, the process and the usage of money can be reduced
Yes.
or be
And
better?
absolutely. So what is happening nowadays is, say for example, it took us 10 years to come and discover. So now the discovery process has become shorter.
Yes.
Because what you could do with AI is predictive, right? So you could predict what would the structure look like if I change the side chain.
Yeah.
Previously, you couldn't visualize. You had to go in the lab and synthesize it.
Yes.
Right now, with predictive, you can predict, okay, this is how it's going to look like. So this would be how it will behave in the environment, how it will behave on human beings, how and all that. So that time frame might be able to shrink it down from 10 years to 7 years, right? And probably save a few million
lot,
dollars,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
Dollars. So that's AI is really changing how people are thinking in terms of discovery. How are we going to look at the future from a predictive standpoint? I think it's really,
Amazing.
really.
Thank you so much for your time. And if anybody wants to get back to you guys or want to expand your business to Middle East, how can they reach out to you?
Thank you so much. So if you can reach out to Corteva Agriscience. We are a global company. You can look us for in LinkedIn. You can drop me a note on LinkedIn, Shoumo Mitra in LinkedIn, or you can look at our company website. We've got offices around the world in 90 odd countries. People all around the world. Please look for it. And I really appreciate what you said
Thank you
about
so-
food.
thank you so
And
much,
so
sir.
please look at.
Thank you so much for doing the work for us, and we are just having it. So if you have a voice, everybody have a social media. Please use it wisely. You can promote whatever you want to. Post your picture with a selfie, but try to use your voice and your platform. Even if for one person you're giving this education to, it means a lot. It will help not only your next generation, but the people who are working right now to make it better. On that note, be kind, be healthy, be authentic. save water, avoid using plastic. This is Thalia MK signing off. Have a great day.